Hi, let's meet you.
So, my name is OT. I'm an holistic healer and also an artist, certified neurologist.
Prophet. Okay, so Prophet, we have like a few questions. We want to explore masculine, feminine energies. There's been a lot of talk, argument, conflict about it in society. So we just want to explore a few questions. The first question would be, what happens when we stop arguing about who's right or wrong and start asking, what does healing look like for all of us?
You see, that sort of like requires a deep level of empathy and also a deep level of compassion, because also we have to understand the fact that this idea of being right and being wrong, or who's right and who's wrong, it's as a result of programming and also the construct that the society and also everything that makes up for our program from when we were young, how it determines and the perspective that we see the world. So sometimes what is wrong for me might be right for you, what is right for you might be wrong for me.
Right.
So we need to drop that mental baggage first and look at the fact that we are all one. Like, there's no separation. Now, I'm not even talking only from the spiritual perspective, but also from the perspective of physicality. We are all human. Your biological structure is different from mine, right? But the same atoms that makes up for you is what makes up for me. So it's all the same thing from the same source. If you are seeing it from the perspective, you are going to understand that there's nothing like differences in between us. We are all the same. So from the perspective of this, we are supposed to understand that we need to be proactive and not perform prejudice over each other by our own mental constructs, and see that, okay, everything is still for the betterment of humanity at the end of the day. So how can you be proactive from your own end as a woman and proactive from my end as a man? Then we come together and build something substantial for the collective and for humanity as a whole. So everybody has a role. Then we have to just see through the eyes of empathy.
The eyes of empathy. I like that. Okay, so how does childhood conditioning, religion, and culture influence how we see men and women?
Wow.
And are we willing to unlearn?
The way you see this generation, doesn't look like we are willing to unlearn. No, to be honest, like the way we look at it around us, doesn't look like we have the tenacity, or we even have there's even a liability for us to unlearn, when every day we keep learning and learning and learning, even the things that are not necessary to be learned. Every day we are on social media digesting content, and when you go on Twitter, you see different people talking about their own side of toxic feminism, and you see the alpha male I've been at Gmail talking about their own perspective of toxic masculinity also. And you keep digesting and digesting and digesting. Everything's going to your subconscious mind, sinking. Sometimes you don't even know that you are doing this, but it's a subconscious action, and it keeps going there. And these things portrays themselves. You enact it every day without even knowing, based on the brain doesn't even understand if you really want to use those informations or not, but you have stored it in your subconscious mind. Now, coming to the part whereby growing up, a lot of things that has happened to you that has actually shaped your perspective of the world, especially childhood traumas and the likes. Take for example children that grew up with abusive parents, or someone that has a daddy issue or mommy issues. You know, their outlook towards the world is definitely, it has been stained. So a child, let's say for example a male that had mommy issues, definitely is going to grow up to have a sort of bias against women. Then let's say for a woman that had daddy issues, definitely growing up, she has a toxic idea of men already. If she doesn't do the healing, already men, she doesn't have much respect for men like that. And also, and a lot of traits like that that comes with being a female that was abused emotionally while growing up. So it all comes down to healing, taking time to heal our traumas. Then after you've healed your traumas, you become conscious of how you relate with your environment, you know. So you now start saying that these things that I'm doing, is it because I'm willing to act like this, or is it because my friends act like this? Take for example a guy that has a couple of friends that are misogynists, and the way they paint women. So if he is not conscious, he's going to be saying like that's the way he's supposed to deal with women, even after he has healed his traumas. And he starts, because he doesn't have a mind of his own, it catches up
so
to
basically
that
association
pattern again. Peer influence. Or a woman that has healed her traumas, but she still has friends and people in her lives that sees men as a means to an end. So these things are very, very important to take note of.
Okay. So do you think it's possible that what we call toxic masculinity or radical feminism are actually cries for safety, dignity, and understanding?
Low key, they are. They are low key. They are, because I think it is lack of understanding that even propels these things in the first place. Lack of understanding, lack of awareness, lack of consciousness that makes us to act the way we act sometimes, and the way society has become the way it has been. And I tell you, more than 90% of the world is unconscious. A lot of people are passive in the way they act. They are not really active.
They're not participating.
They are just existing. They are not living. So they follow the route that has been created for them mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and even physically also. So if eventually a guy that has lived his life as a toxic male, you know, for example a misogynist, and meets a woman that is grounded, you know, and peradventure he was able to heal his traumas also, and this grounded woman, this divine woman, portrays to him what a real woman is supposed to be like, unlike the females out here, the radical feminism ones, and the ones that has actually objectified men the same way men has objectified them. You understand? If he is able to be lucky enough to meet this kind of person who mirrors that which is really the real feminism to him, then this way it's going to assist his stability in his masculine energy if he has healed his traumas. In fact, I'm even talking from experience. Then also females that has had that experience also of being a radical feminist, you know, always being like that men are this, men are that, men are shit, and she's able to meet someone that proves different with compassion and empathy. I think you are liable to change. So if the emotional safety is there, then there is understanding of perspective in between the parties, then this can be done, it can be propelled. And for example, let's now imagine we are in a society that we all aid each other to have this certain level of correlation and resonance. Of course, we'll be a huge society, but ask yourself, is this even able to happen? Can this even happen in our society whereby on basic things we don't even have normal agreement? Talk less of being able to heal our own traumas, deep-seated traumas that has been there for generations. So that's something else for another.
Yeah, I mean, we want to be heard, and it shows in different forms. All these things. So what do you think might shift in society if men and women saw each other as collaborators in healing, not competitors in pain?
Wow, that's just what we just said right now. In correlation with that, we will literally be living in Nirvana, whereby we will have we have a sort of heaven on earth, because when we are healed of our traumas, like, we see the world from how it's supposed to be, not how we have been programmed to see it. So this way, and there is already a space for everybody to grow, which was propelled by the healing. And we are going to evolve. And you know, this just precedes a more beautiful ambience for the whole of humanity as a whole. So if this can be possible, then we will have heaven on earth, really.
And then growth becomes mutual. Differences are strengths, not threats anymore. So, now we've been talking about, you know, how society has done this. So bringing it back to yourself, are you willing to confront how you have contributed to the divide and what you are doing now to bridge it?
Let me tell you a story.
Okay.
You see, way back, like, let's say 5 years ago, before my proper awakening, and before I started trailing on my path of enlightenment, I used to be like a crazy misogynist. It was so crazy. And in introspect and with hindsight, looking back at all those experiences, I saw that that wasn't really me. But because of what I was exposed to, all those times I was listening to a lot of toxic music, being influenced by the environment that I was in, for you to be in that kind of circle, and everything around me was even encouraging that kind of mindset. Also with the fact that I was embodying my traumas. So I was really a crazy misogynist. And the funniest part is that it has been affecting me also, because I'm supposed to embody my duality myself, because I myself am made of the feminine energy and the masculine energy. But this would prevent me. Why? Because I'm even seeing the feminine side of my own self as opposition. Then fast forward to a few years after, I started doing my own shadow works and working on myself from within. I started seeing that for me to even be inclined with my emotions properly, I need to get in tune with my feminine side, because the energy of emotions, the energy of emotions is mainly feminine. You understand? That's why most women are prone to be more spiritual than men. Why? Because they are able to feel their emotions than men. And the way the divine connects with you is through your emotions mainly. So, and after that period, as time goes on, I started seeing myself to become whole, because I started being able to express more. I started being able to understand my emotions more, and this was one of the things that propelled my emotional intelligence. So now fast forward to later, almost now, and even now, what I'm doing now is that I'm able to encourage men around me, mostly my people in my community and my students, that you need to tap in and first of all erase that idea that you have in your head about women, for you to be able to meet them on the altitude that they are. You understand? Because we are all the same. So, and as time goes on, because I was able to dissolve this aspect of myself, I was able to meet more conscious women that didn't project that toxic masculinity on me, and also didn't mirror that idea that I dissolved about the feminine, the toxic femininity. So this gave me a more clearer vision about the world, that this is how this is. So now I can even say I'm more of a feminist, you know, because I'm able to even encourage more women to be themselves. Because if you are following the construction that the society has put around you, or on you, or in you, you'll be able to express truly your feminine energy, and also encourage men around me to be able to do the same, so we can all be a whole at the same time.
Awesome. Any last words to just wrap up this whole thing? I mean, this has been fun.
Yeah.
What would you say to the person who is listening to this right now, who's watching this right now?
If they are actually watching and they've watched to this point,
yeah,
everything that I've said is what I'm supposed to say to you. You don't need much to be said. So literally, just make sure you are not just hearing this, you are implementing everything you have learnt from this clip for all of us to have a better society, and for a better society to be hard. We all have a part to play in it, both you and me. Thank you.
All right.
Safe.